The Final Four is here as Purdue takes on North Carolina State. Battle of the two big men, but there's also a lot of other interesting things that'll happen in this game. I'm going to go through some of the film on some of the keys that I think will pop up. We are going to start in the post, though, and NC State hasn't had the most success defending the post. They've stayed pretty much one-on-one throughout the entire year, so I'm going to go through a play right here. And so you're going to start ball at the top of the key, and this is going to be horn set. It's going to be horns high-low is the set. So two guys at kind of the slots, two guys in the corners, and then ball at the top. Ball's going to go off one screen, and that guy's going to immediately dive to the rim. And so now notice DJ Burns here. He's closer to the level, and sometimes he will be at this level where he's never going to like full on hedge, but he's up here kind of defending the ball. Sometimes he'll drop back. On this one, he's up here, and so now it's going to get to a high-low look. That guy, Awaka right here, he's just going to dive and seal Burns, right? And so now it's high-low action. Ball isn't going to immediately go there. Tennessee's going to throw it over here. But still, this whole time, Tennessee now kind of has the positioning, and now they can just go work one-on-one. And this is the other thing I want to point out, is NC State just stays one-on-one. This is what they do. There you can see there's not really any help. And so now it's just one-on-one, and he's going to be able to get to that right hook. And I mean, that's an exact play that Purdue will run. Horn set, right? Two kind of at the elbow of the slot, two in the corners, ball at the top. Goes off the first screen. Edey's now going to dive to the rim. Gillis is going to pop out. And so if MSU, the defense, if they stay with Gillis, then it's going to immediately be a high-low. And we'll talk about this later in the video as well. But if he's open, he's going to shoot. If not, now Edey's going to get the high-low. MSU sends a guy, doesn't get the steal, and now it's one-on-one, and Edey's just going to go to work. So now I just mentioned that NC State for the most part stays one-on-one, but at times they will dig down. And so you're going to see here, right, this is off an offensive rebound. So there's congestion to begin with down low. Now Bacot never really lets the space fully clear. And Diarra right here, he's the guy especially. He's the one that can kind of help protect the rim. He can reach in on steals. He'll be the guy that if NC State wants to show more help to Edey, which I don't think is out of the realm of possibilities given it's Zach Edey, he will probably be the guy that does it. And so now you're going to see him dig down. He's going to get the swipe in and poke the ball free. So although NC State does stay one-on-one, that's what they've done this entire season, when they do show help, it is generally just kind of dig-ins like that. Now, if they do dig down and they don't do the full double, as long as Edey kind of just maintains control of the ball, then honestly, good things happen. And you're going to see here, this is a big thing that Purdue has done a lot, especially late in the season. Gillis is going to fire this in, kind of from above the break, right up in here, free throw line extended, we'll call it. As soon as he fires it in, he's immediately going to go corner. And so once that happens, if the defense digs in at all, Edey knows that he's going to, you can see, look, Edey immediately looks corner. He knows that Gillis isn't going to be here. So now he fires corner, and Gillis gets a wide open three. I do think Mason Gillis is going to be very important in this game. If you are enjoying, please like and subscribe, as we are now going to get into DJ Burns post-ups. And this is a huge, huge part of NC State's offense. It isn't the only part, but it is a very big part. And he can just kind of go to work pretty much wherever. I mean, he's going to catch the ball, 12, 13 feet here, and he's just going to back down. And so you're going to see here, North Carolina provides no help. They're staying home on the shooters because DJ Burns is such a good passer. And we'll talk about that in just a second. But now he has all this space to work, and he's just going to get to his spot. Now, what DJ Burns loves more than anything is to get over the right shoulder, get with his left hand to the hook. He has such good feel down low, and it is kind of just feels with the body of being able to spin in the right direction like he does here, get the shot to go. So now this is what Purdue's defensive philosophy has been against the post. You're going to see Crowell get it here. And so Purdue's going to have whoever's guarding the ball, whether it be Edey or the other big, TKR or Gillis, they're going to shut off the middle. And then the other big is going to drop near the rim and cover the baseline. And so it isn't a full, complete double team, right? He's not trying to, trap. But there's two defenders there, and Purdue does a great job of forcing one into another. And so now it's a kick out, and you just kind of have to work from there. And now with Edey already being in position, he can help defend this at the rim. And so maybe Purdue does leave one-on-one, Edey against Burns, and just kind of live, try to take away the passing and live with the scoring. But if they stick with what they've done, it's going to be that forcing baseline and then just kind of rotate from there. So now we just looked at kind of the post defense that Purdue will want to play, and you'll see some similarities here on this play from North Carolina. Now, the one thing that's different, right? So again, forcing kind of baseline, and you're going to have the big helping. I don't know if Purdue's going to do this far out, and Burns will absolutely catch at the three-point line and back down. I wouldn't be shocked if they waited till it was closer to, 15 feet type, 14 feet type area. And North Carolina does it out here, though. And so you're going to see this double. And this is where Burns can just kill you, too. Is sometimes he can make the really great fancy pass, but he also can just make the right pass. Makes the right pass, kicks it out, extra pass, and now NC State's going to get an in-rhythm 3. So again, you'll notice here, like, NC State is fine posting up Burns near the 3-point line. Now, they're going to get it here. He's going to be, a step inside the 3-point line. I do think Purdue, especially if Edey is guarding him, he's probably going to be a step or two back. I wouldn't be shocked if they give him a little bit of space and kind of take away his ability to create space by just moving guys down. So as he gets the ball here, you can see already, he's just surveying the floor. And so now as he gets down, you're going to see a little bit of this. You're going to see a hard double right here, right? Going to double off. Now, if that happens, your rotations have to be perfect. Like, he would have to dive down immediately to help protect at the rim. And if he doesn't, that's a shot. Now, Purdue is used to and they practice doubling the post, so they should be better at kind of these rotations. But if you don't, Burns is just going to eat you up with his passing. He can make pretty much any pass he wants from the post, and he's going to find the right guy. Now, a big change from last year to this year is just how good Purdue is in pick and roll. They were solid last year, but Braden Smith especially is just leveled up. And so right here, they'll run different variations, but eventually getting a double screen right here is just kind of something that they'll go to a lot. Have Gillis step out, and now eventually it's just a single ball screen. So notice where here, he's going to kind of stay with Edey on the roll, right, and leave it up to the guards. Now, Braden Smith is just so good at kind of disguising everything. And so right here, he knows that he has 7-foot, Kalel Ware rotating over to try to help at the rim. And this is just beautiful. So he's just going to kind of finger roll, lob it almost up to Edey. He did it against Tennessee late in the game. And so even when the defense is staying with Edey, Smith has a knack for being able to draw the defense in last second, know that Edey's there, and lob it up to him. So now the pick and roll is something that NC State hasn't defended well for a large part of the year. They have started forcing a lot more kind of mid-range and floater type shots, which has really helped come tournament play. But this is kind of what they do defensively against pick and roll. So you're going to see ball screen up top. Burns right here, he's just going to be in this drop coverage. And usually, honestly, it's not his responsibility to protect the rim. He's going to just stay with the roller. And now when we think of going against Zach Edey, that might be the case even more so. I've already mentioned Burns can step up. He can drop if needed. But oftentimes he will just kind of stay with whoever is rolling. Now in this case, though, they're forcing UNC left, and Burns is not going to be there. And so now Diarra right here, he's usually the guy that has to come over and help at the rim. He's not going to get there. So you can see it NC State has somebody that does rotate over, but it's a guard, and now UNC is able to finish at the rim. But now, in addition to kind of the facilitating, this is going to be a pretty big Braden Smith scoring game. I really think it could be. High ball screen. You're going to see Illinois in a pretty deep drop here, just like what NC State does with Burns at times. And now Smith is just going to get to his pull-up. And so if Smith has been very good in this 15 to 18-foot range, like if this is open, which it should be for the most part, Smith just has to take it and be confident that he's going to make him because he's done it all season. Now you'll notice here, right, against the pick and roll, as the ball comes up, you're going to get a high ball screen and just drop coverage. And the other thing to notice is NC State doesn't always provide a ton of help from their guards especially, and they kind of leave it to their bigs to try to figure it out. So like teams haven't shot well against NC State. Some of it is that they're missing open threes, but some of it is just that NC State kind of tries to stay attached. And so they're going to see no help off this guard, minimal help here. What that does open up, though, is kind of these mid-range shots. And so NC State has done better also of kind of contesting these. But against this drop coverage with Burns staying with the roller, really, this mid-range is going to be open. And Braden Smith, we show that he can absolutely get to it, but it's going to be there, and he's going to have to be aggressive. So as we go through this one, you're going to see Middlebrooks right here. He's going to be more at the level, up higher, against the screen. And so it's not a full hedge, although he can do that short roll to Duke. Now they're going to flow into another one. Now, Middlebrooks here is expecting NC State to ice this, so kind of force sideline. And so he's jumping to get to the level up here. However, that doesn't happen, and the ball comes off. And so now, as Duke's getting downhill, this is where Diarra right here can be really, really important to this NC State defense. Again, you're going to see NC State doesn't provide a ton of help from their guards, but Diarra, who's guarding the short corner right here, He's the one that can rotate over and help protect at the rim like he does here. And so oftentimes it isn't the big guarding the ball or guarding the roller's job to protect the rim. It's Diarra who's going to be off ball. It's his job. This is where I think a guy like Mason Gillis can be crazy important for Purdue. And so they're going to run off a screen here. And although maybe, right, NC State won't hard hedge like Minnesota does here, if this is Diarra, right, who would be guarding Gillis in this spot, he's going to have to make a choice of extending out to the three-point line and guarding Gillis or helping near the rim. Now, if Burns is kind of staying with Edey, then maybe Diarra does pop up, but then it's going to immediately flow into high-low for Edey down low. So Gillis is going to have to be able to knock down the open threes like he did, for most of this season. And then if Diarra does come out, that's a win for Purdue because now their best rim protector will be extended out, and then you could fire it into Edey for a post-up. But on this one, Gillis makes the three. So now as we move to kind of the other part of NC State's offense is they have a lot of tough shot makers, guys that can just go and create their own shot, highlighted by DJ Horne. And he's been probably, aside from DJ Burns, he's been the biggest factor on this NC State team, and he might just be the biggest factor in general. He's a guy that he can knock down threes. He can get to the rim. He can get to his pull-up. You're going to see here, this is after a made basket, and he's just going to push. So now he's going to push the ball up, and you're going to get a drag screen, right, where it's kind of in transition, and now you get a high ball screen. UNC's in drop coverage, just like what Zach Edey will be in. They're going to immediately re-screen since nothing really happened there. And now he's just able to get to his spot. If you go under, he's going to shoot it. If you go over, he's going to try to get to a floater kind of in this area. Now he's going to pull it, knock it down, and NC State does that consistently, whether it be him or even just any of the other guards as well. And this part of NC State's offense is pretty interesting in this matchup, especially because they have many dudes that can just kind of go off, highlighted by Horne, but they are just being able to create and make the shots that Purdue is willing to give up. So you're going to see the Chicago action for Wisconsin, right? Down screen into the handoff. Edey's going to be in his drop coverage, and so he's just going to kind of keep scooting back. And so as that happens, Storr's just going to keep the ball handler on his hip and then rise up. So Purdue just has to be able to try to get through these screens. They aren't always the best at it, but need to be able to just stay connected. And if not, then stuff like this is going to happen, and NC State is very willing to take them. And so another thing that North Carolina State will do a lot is they'll flow into handoffs and kind of the Chicago action, which they're going to go to here. So pin down into a handoff. And now coming off of this, there's a few things that can happen. One is he can try to just drive to the rim. Two, hit Burns on a post up. Or three, just kind of create his own shot. And so NC State will also just flow into a lot of isolations. Now, this one, he's going to drive, keep the defender on his hip, and kind of get all the way to the rim. He does a great job there. But this whole team in general, they want to kind of catch and attack. And so they're going to try to get downhill. They're all very comfortable getting to the mid-range. And that's just kind of what they want to do outside of DJ Burns. This is just going to be a fun game in general. You have Edey and Burns going one-on-one against each other or potentially one-on-one against each other. You have even both sets of guards, though. They kind of are able to do stuff that the other defense is willing to give up. So should be a very fun game, and I'm very excited for the Final Four.